On the Electoral Reform Society's website, the vision, values and the ambition of the group are very clearly set out. So as soon as you go onto their website, it's there. So this helps people to quickly understand what the group is all about. So I felt I kind of pretty much set it out in the exact same way so that you can see how well they set it out. So they've got their vision at the top and what the values they believe in are here. And then their ambitions, which is what they're actually going to do. So I've pretty much taken it so that you can see the set out. That. It's not all going to be this word. I felt that was the best way to do it. Don't worry about the ambitions because I'm going to go on to them. Everyone right? So, how they're going to achieve their ambitions. The first ambition is to develop the credibility, connections and voice to shape a new political reform agenda. This refers to how the group itself will attempt to get the issues they campaign for into the political spotlight, forcing the government to consider them. So this year they decided to focus their efforts on influencing all the parties in the build-up to the 2015 election, because if they can lobby parties into including things to do with electoral reform into their manifestos, then that holds them down to it in the next government. They're planning a wide variety of things, for example, proposals to give the vote to 16 and 17-year-olds and giving everyone equal access to the democratic process. Other issues include tackling the lack of diversity in politics, reforming the House of Lords, improving the democratic deficit in the EU and further devolution. So the second thing I want to do is showing how first past the post is contributing to our broken politics. The group knows that before they can suggest a solution, people need to understand the problems, because everyone here knows about the problems first past the post, but the average citizen might not understand that there's a lot of disproportionality in the system, so they're trying to educate the people about the issues and possibly educate them about the advantages of other systems. Finally, they wish for the single transferable vote system, which is currently used in Scottish local elections, to be introduced for all local elections across England and Wales. So that one winning the argument for local government. So their main campaigning methods is obviously education. They don't tend to use, they don't go out and rally on the streets and protests. They're more about educating the public. They can do this through their website. The voting system is made simple section on their website. Educates the people about the different voting systems. It's a very informative website, and it provides information on all the issues they're campaigning against, for example, female representation in Parliament. Their strategy for solving these problems is detailed in a single document. I'll just quickly show you that now. So as you can see here, they've got their mission, they've got their agenda, and how they're going to do it in more detail. And it's very, very clearly set out, so that allows people to immediately understand it. And then, that is them. They also do events such as the annual democracy dinner. That was, I think, on Monday or Wednesday. And the interactive tools for exhibiting the inadequacies of our current system, which I'm going to go on to now. So this map in the top left corner represents the cost per vote to the parties in each constituency. So I've just got the figures from Hertford and Stortford and the Hampstead and Kilburn constituency, and it really highlights the differences in money spent. So you can see here the cost per vote so if your parents voted the last election, their vote would have cost all the parties combined 26p. whereas in Hampton and Kilburn, they spent £4 4p on each person's vote. So you can see how the parties are targeting the seats that are going to be closely contested with all the money, and they're not spending any money on safe seats, which is pretty undemocratic, even though in Hertford and Stortford there are actually more people voted than Hampton and Kilburn. And then the map highlights the different areas in there, shows the disproportionate housing. So this one is in terms of female representation. The Hertford and Stortford constituency has never been represented by a female MP. Welling Hatfield was represented by an MP, but is not currently a female MP. Epping Forest is our nearest constituency to currently have a female MP. And if you look at the wider version of that, there's a lot of areas that have never been represented by a female MP. And these are all interactive tools taken from their website where you can put your postcode in and it shows you your area. So this last one is showing a map of the level of support that each MP has. Again, I've compared these two constituencies. So in Hertford and Stortford, Mark Christus actually got a majority of 53.83%, but the Glenda Jackson, the MP for Hampton and Kilburn, only has 32.81% of supporters in our constituency, and that's out of the people that voted. So you can see the inadequacies of our system quite clearly there, because there's such a low amount of support. And wasted votes, 74% of Hertford and Stortford votes were wasted last year on either defeated candidates or surplus votes for the winner. So that means 3 in every 4 pretty much votes are just wasted in our constituency. So you can see how these interactive tools are showing the public that we need reform quite clearly through the use of maps and figures. So fundraising. The main way the society raises funds are through annual membership, as most pressure groups do. £12 for concessions or £24 for adults. Also donations made to the group. The events like the Democracy Dinner also raise funds for them. And you can see their income from 2013. Members was the grey, fundraising was the dark grey, and the orange is an ERSL dividend. Now, the ERSL is the Electoral Reform Services, and they're actually a company that offer to run elections. So Big Brother and the Brit Awards, the votes for that are run by the Electoral Reform Services. So all the they actually make money, and then they give some of their money to the society. So that's where most of the money comes from. Just other details. Their ambassador, the Democracy Dinner, raised over £4,000 last year. They're doing a major fundraising drive since last May, and they've had over 80 individuals donate and 38 new members since then. And then they've had a grant from the Joseph Rowntree Reform Trust. Support. So Dan Snow is a TV history presenter and author, and the ambassador of the Electoral Reform Society. You might have seen him on some BBC programmes. Other high-profile supporters of the electoral reform, they don't specifically say that they support the society, but they have said in the past that they support electoral reform. Ed Miliband, Nick Clegg, and Nigel Farage. The Electoral Reform Society claims that their members come from many different backgrounds, with all age groups, political affiliations and regions represented. So I'm guessing they're supported by rich people, not rich people, and they said all age groups, I'm guessing babies support them as well. And success-wise, the 2011 AV referendum was partly organised by the Electoral Reform Society and campaigned for. And the STV in Scotland, they strongly campaigned for that, and that's led to it introduced. But they haven't had any real success because of the AV referendum and no vote. So the things that they claim are successes, like people are more aware, there's no actual facts to show that